Welcome! Sorry for the small delay, and welcome to Linguistics 101, or as we called it before, Till's Language Lab. Because I am Till, T-I-L-L, I'm a German guy, and I am slightly nerdy about languages. And this is part of the series called Explorers Month. This is where we in ICE, or Intercultural Education, explore one country every month. And in each month we want to go a little deeper and explore different kind of topics. For example, a few days ago we talked about feminism in South Korea. And today we're going to look a little bit about the language. So that's what we're going to do. Language Lab by Till, or Till's Language Lab, or Linguistics 101. And I am not alone here. We also have our guest, because maybe, I'm not sure how much you can guess, but I'm not Korean. I don't look particularly Korean, and I don't even speak Korean. I'm not going to teach you anything about this language. So let me introduce you the guest that we actually have in this session. He's called Suho, and he is calling in live from South Korea. So can we all have a look at Suho? And Suho, can you say hi to everyone? Okay, so Suho will be with us for this 1 hour, and we are going to explore the language together. This is a live session, so if you're in the audience and you're watching this on YouTube or on Facebook, I recommend you to type things into the comments and ask some questions, because the whole point is that Suho can answer questions directly to you. I will act a little bit like an intermediary, so I will ask questions, I will show my own curiosity, and I will try to learn a bit about the language. And by the way, I don't know anything about Korean language. I'm sure you as the audience probably know more than me. But I will try to ask questions. I will try to learn. And you can learn with me together, or you can directly ask questions to Suho. Okay, so that's what we're going to do today. And yeah, let's have a look at some of the slides and see what's going to happen. So, language class. Maybe a disclaimer here. This session is not exactly a language class that after this class you would speak Korean, or even you will learn like greetings and stuff like this. Because honestly, you can just learn this on the internet very easily, right? You can just learn this is how you say hello, or these are the many different ways you can say hello, or these are the ways you can say goodbye. But this is also not a pure linguistics class. I am not a professional linguist. I'm not the kind of person who knows everything about linguistics. I'm just an enthusiast. I love languages. And I hope you love languages together with me. And I hope, even beyond the Korea session, you will be joining me to explore other languages as well, and quirks. So what we want to do is mostly look at the interesting things about Korean language. We want to look at the small little details as like, ooh, that is unique. Other languages may not have that. So that's what we're going to do today. And yeah, let's get started with this. Well, Korean language, I'm sure you've been exposed to this before, right? I'm sure you've seen some of the things about Korean language. I'm sure, yeah, let's skip a few slides here. So I'm sure you have seen some things, whether you watch Korean drama or whether you watch K-pop. Sorry, I have to admit, I'm not a big fan. I don't want to start any arguments here, so I will not. You know, Chinese, Korean, yeah, maybe there's some history, but is this also Korean language? We're going to discuss those things today as well. But yeah, first maybe something I call nerdy time. Linguistics concepts first, just so you understand some of the words that I will be using and what actually gets linguists excited about Korean language. I know some of you may know it already, okay? I'm sure some of you watching, you love Korea, you love Korean language, and you can already speak and read everything. So please bear with me if I repeat a few things, because this session is also intended for curious minds who've never seen Korean before and never heard of anything before, okay? But you can always ask your own questions, okay? So, nerdy time. Let's do this. Okay. Sorry, give me a moment. Okay. So, some of the terms that are relevant. First, Korean language. Some people call it a language isolate. So that means it's a language that's not even related to other languages. Linguists first have thought, oh, it's kind of similar to Japanese in its grammatical way. Maybe there is a origin, Korean, Japanese, and maybe even some Siberian languages. Even all the way to Hungarian, Finnish, and Estonian. Maybe they're related, but most modern linguists believe it's totally unrelated to any language. Okay, that's called a language isolate in the linguistics community. Then, sorry, you have to do this. Then, a couple of other words is because of the different levels of formality, for example, it's very interesting, and also the writing system. So, writing system called orthography means it's really unique. It's really elegant. I know linguists who say this is the most elegant writing system of all time in the world because it's a pretty modern writing system. We're going to see it very soon, and Suho is going to teach you some of it and teach me some of it. But people say this is very innovative because a lot of writing systems, like the English alphabet, for example, has a lot of historical baggage and a lot of logical inconsistencies. And you need a lot of like 2 or 3 letter combinations to map some sounds to writing. But Korean alphabet or syllabary was really designed for the Korean language and works surprisingly well and smoothly. And has a nice feature to it, which we're going to cover later. And also the level of formalities is something very special because especially for someone like me from the Western world, it's really weird to see that language changes based on who you talk to and based on who you are. And whether you talk to your mom or dad or your brother or sister or your student, and somehow you have to use different words and even the grammatical relationship changes. Really, really weird stuff. I find it really interesting. And Korea is one of the famous languages where it's called register in linguistics. You can have a formal register or informal register, for example. Okay, the last thing I mentioned before is these Chinese characters that got imported. The Japanese did something similar. Maybe you know about that. It's called kanji. They imported Chinese characters, but get back to it later towards the end of the session. But okay, let's get started. First, we want to have the building blocks of the language, which is the writing system, Hangul. And for this, I want to go back to Suho. Okay, cool. So let's go back to Suho and see what is this Korean writing system about. Let's start with this. Let's learn the building blocks of writing. So Suho, would you like to tell us what is this? We can go to a slide where you can see some of the basics of the writing system. And can you cover the basics? Tell me and tell the audience, what is this? These weird circles and lines. Suho?
Are unavailable currently. Please check your connections.
Yes.
Is he speaking? Make it quiet. Oh, Suho, can you hear me? Can you say something?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, so sorry for the delay. There were some technical issues, so I apologize to everyone. So Suho, let's start with the building blocks, okay? So can you quickly show us what your language looks like? I think we can put a slide on the screen. You can see some of the basic consonants and vowels. And can you cover why do those things look like this and how do you pronounce them?
So you would like me to share my screen?
No. We'll have it. We will show it on the screen. Yeah, just give us a second, and then you will see through Jay's WhatsApp call.
Yes. Now I can.
Okay. So what do we have?
So as you can see, the first one is the Chinese University of Hong Kong, which I'm attending to right now. I'm having online courses, so let's see how we can write the Chinese University of Hong Kong. So there's actually 2 ways Koreans adopt the foreign words. And the first type is this. You see that? If, for those who can read Korean, you notice this is not actually how it's pronounced. It's not the Chinese University of Hong Kong in Korean, but rather a literal translation of the Chinese letter. So we incorporate the three letters, and we write it on our own. So how I pronounce it is 중문대. The first letter is chung, which is actually very similar to Cantonese, right? Chung. And the second one is mun. Mun. And the last one is tae. So connect all those together. 중문대. It kind of sounds similar to the Cantonese way, the zhongmandai. I think it's because of how Korean is old and Cantonese is also kind of an old language, but I'm not too sure about that. The second one, if we go to the second one, is the City University of Hong Kong. Because city is already an English word, we just pronounce it as it is. So in Korean, it is also Shikti. Shikti-dae. So Shikti-dae, City University of Hong Kong. The day is the same, it's just the city that we just pronounce it in our ways.
Okay. Sorry, Suho, can you try and speak a little bit louder?
All right. Apparently my voice is a little too soft. Let's go to the third one then. The third one is Kowloon. Is it better, by the way?
Yeah, a little better. Just speak as loud as you can. Sorry for that.
Okay, I'll try. Kowloon. You can see that for those who can read Korean, it also does not sound like Kowloon at all. It sounds like Guryong. So this is our Korean way of pronouncing the Chinese letters. The Galong it sounds closer, right? Guryong. So the 9 dragons, the first one is Gu, the other one is Ryong. So it's Guryong. All right. This is one type of speaking Korean. I mean, how Koreans transcribe other languages. If we go to the next slide, we can see the other way of doing it. Also, this one's more straightforward to understand. So the first one, Shatin, the one in New Territories, how we pronounce it is Chatin. We just try to follow the original spelling so that it sounds similar, close enough. Chatin. Second one is Mongkok. In Korean, it is Mongkok. So again, we try to follow the English pronunciation, but in our Korean way, Mongkok. The third one, TST, Jimsajoy, is in Korean, it is Chimsachui. So again, it's kind of similar, but not quite. So we just try to sound as similar as we can. Chimsachui. And also, if we want to shorten this, it's in the brackets. We also call it as chimchu. Because we Koreans, we really love to shorten things. So anything more than 3 letters is too much for us. So what we will do is shorten things. And it happens the same with Causeway Bay. When you look at it, it's 6 letters long. Causeway Bay. Causeway Bay. Causeway Bay. So because this is too long for us, we want to shorten it, right? The way we shorten this is in the brackets again. In 3 letters, it's Koubei. We take the beginning part of each letter and we just put it together. So Ko from Causeway and Bay from Bay. So Koubei, that's how it is. So let's try perhaps working on some sentences. These are really basic sentences. I think I try to make as easy as it can. So if we can go to the next slide.
Okay, sorry. Let's do this because we've seen a lot of these Korean characters, but we haven't actually looked at the proper breakdown of them. So let's go back a few slides and have a look at the actual consonants and the actual vowels to see how we break it down, because I also want to practice writing them. It's such a beautiful system. I want to learn how to write it, and maybe some of the audience also want to try it. So if you can, get a piece of paper and get a pen, and we're actually going to have a look what the individual characters look like and how who built a block. So let's do this first, and then we can continue. Okay?
All right.
Cool. So let's try that. Okay, so let's have a look. And I also included some pictures, right? Some of them actually are modeled after something happening in the mouth. Can you quickly explain some of the most important characters and how they work?
All right. So there are consonants and there are vowels. Consonants, you can notice that some of them have double of their consonants. So if you look at the first two, you notice there's a K/G and a double K. So the second one sounds stronger. This happens unique in Korean, and there are actually a few more. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cases when there's a consonant and there's a stronger pronunciation of it. The way you pronounce it is pretty straightforward, but let's go through some of them. The first one, for example, is kiyo, so good, or k, good, good. And the second one would go a bit stronger, like good. There's a subtle difference from good to good. These are the subtle differences you have to know when you learn Korean. Other ones, there's the circle one on the second line, which is pretty unique as well, because it actually doesn't have any pronunciation. It only works with other vowels combined. So let's try that. The first one by itself is closer to but not quite. Let's combine it with the first vowel then. The first vowel you see on the third line is ah, right? So if you combine these together, it just sounds like ah, because it actually doesn't have any pronunciation. It serves as a consonant, but it actually doesn't have any pronunciation. So whenever it's combined with a vowel, it would not have any pronunciation at all. I think those are the few things I want to point out. So do you want to try out writing them? Perhaps you can try writing your name and by combining the pronunciations.
Oh dear, okay. This is going to be a challenge. Okay, first I have this question. I mean, you already mentioned a few of these characters, but there is this kind of tongue-mouth shaped thing, right? Like that.
All right.
For example, the k, it's kind of like as if your tongue. Maybe everyone in the audience can try. So if you do k or if you do n, like an n sound, right, or l sound, what does the tongue do? And then look at the right-hand side picture, and you can kind of see the line, the red line, right? Like, and apparently this is kind of the way how the actual character is being inspired. So if you want to remember what it's like, you just make your tongue shape like this and look at the picture and think like, oh, that's kind of how it works. At least that's what I read. It's kind of true, right?
It works for some of the letters, yeah, sure.
For which one does it not work?
Well, you can guess the harder ones. You know, your tongue cannot actually make that shape, so only the simple ones would work.
Okay. So let me actually try to draw one. I want to try one. Okay.
All right.
So can you explain very carefully again how to do it? Because I know there is some kind of it ends up being in some kind of box, right? And then you have something. So I now remember, because I said g before, so I remember it's something like this, right? You do like this and then this, right? It's just like a hook. But then you put it on top of something usually, right? There's like something on the bottom. And what?
Can you actually show me the
okay.
you're drawing on?
Okay, so you can see it. So that's like, okay, so I do this, and then is that a g, something like this?
It is, you're correct.
Okay, and then what can I draw after this?
Oh, so next to it, on the right side,
yes,
you will want to choose a vowel. And whichever vowel you want to choose, perhaps the one that sounds like you.
Okay, what do I want to say? What if I want to say go, like go home?
Go home. Then you have to find the O pronunciation.
Whoa.
See if there's one that has O
Okay.
from
So
the vowels. There is one if
So-
you look close.
yeah, so the O, let me have a look. Okay, so the O, it's also two things, right? So I have to put it on the right hand side or at the bottom?
For this one, you have to put it at the bottom.
Oh, so if it's just
Yeah.
two, I have one on top and one on the bottom.
Yes.
Ah.
And then there's another consonant perhaps that can follow along, but
Wait. But the O is just, do I have to put some circles in? I saw the O is just like this, right?
Yeah, that is O. But you have to put them close enough so that they form a block, as you said.
So I have to put it together. So I have to do
Yes.
this and then
Yep. And
directly
right below,
this one here?
yep.
No circle,
A
anything.
bit closer.
Ah, a
That's-
circle, right?
Well, you kind of made it a new shape. It looks like a one shape now. Put them closer. Maybe from the empty spot that the first consonant gives.
The empty spot that the first consonant gives. So first,
So if it's a incomplete box, the first one, you want to start the second vowel from the middle of that box.
from the middle, so like from here, like this.
Yeah, good enough.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Would be better
The
if
way
it
you
was-
said, yeah, tells me that was terrible.
No, that's all right. I can read that.
You
That's
can-
not a
wow.
problem.
Okay, cool. So that's go. Okay.
Yeah,
Nice.
it is.
Nice. Okay. And what if I have three? So if I have three, like say a consonant, a vowel, and a consonant, then I would do like one here, and then one here, and then one at the bottom or something.
That's one way to put it. The other one is the three cubes stacked on each other.
Like 1, 2, 3. Like
Yes, exactly.
ooh. Okay. Let's say what can you do after go? Let's say go, and then can you put anything after that?
You can make it a pair after you add the, let's see, which one? The seventh consonant. That
The
you-
seventh
the N.
consonant. Wow. Let me have a look.
N. Yep.
N, right?
M. Yes.
M. 1, 2, wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So the mouth. Okay. Yeah, sorry, I'm really bad at this, I told you. So that's basically, let's have a new page. So that's basically just this box, right?
It is correct.
Cool. So let's see what I've learned. So if you want, so that's the K, and then we have the O,
O.
and then I would put a box at the bottom.
You do. That's much better.
Ooh, nice, thank you. Okay,
Yep.
nice. And what if I want to turn it around? Can I start with the M?
You can, of course.
And it's,
Whichever
let's
you
say,
want to do.
and then I do O, so this is Mo.
Yep. It is more.
Woo, yeah, and then I could even put something at the bottom again.
You can.
Can I do another M, like Mom?
Yes. And that actually means something.
Oh,
It means a body.
body.
A body of something. Yep.
Body? Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I just accidentally wrote a Korean word. That is so cool. I love this kind of building blocks. It's almost like you're having Legos and you're building stuff. Nice. Okay, so you got that. So you make boxes based on just maximum 3 things, right? And that you just put consonants and vowels together. But what is that weird circle? I see these circles a lot. Circle and then some like something, I don't know, like I see a lot of circles. What do these circles do?
So, well, it's a consonant, as you can see. The one I talked about with the one that doesn't have actually any pronunciation. So you can try making it work. Try any combination, perhaps.
So it just means no pronunciation.
Yep.
So if I want to,
So-
so if I want to have a vowel without a consonant. So this actually works. What?
It works right there, yep.
Oh, so wait, don't say anything. So this was the O, right? Oh, so it's just O.
Yep. It just
Oh.
sounds like, oh,
Cool. So if I just want O, I have to put a circle on.
you do.
Ah, okay. I can't just do this. That's not enough. I have to do
No,
a circle.
that actually means something bad, so don't do
Oh,
it.
I'm making so many mistakes that actually turn out to mean things. Okay, cool. Thank you so much, Suho. Okay, so now we've got some basics, and I know some of you in the audience probably know this already because you probably actually are a fan of Korean culture and language. I am not. I apologize for offending you, but I find it really, really funny and interesting how easy it is to just build stuff together with those things that don't really look like letters to me. It just looks very, I don't know, like playful, and way easier than Chinese characters. But okay, so let's go back to the words again, because we already saw these characters in use, right? We saw simple sentences. So let's see if you can actually make slightly more complex sentences. So let's go back to the slides. Okay, and let's go. All right. Okay, so we talked about this already, right?
We did, yes.
Let's continue. Okay. Ooh. Can you share how to speak?
Yep, I can. So let's see. The first one says, I'm living in blank. So in that blank, we put any noun that has a place in it. So it could be Korea, it could be Hong Kong, it could even be North Point, where I used to live. So let's try putting the first letter in there. I'm living in Korea. So the way you pronounce it is 저, and then 한국에 살아요. That's the basic way, that's the basic sentence, and that's how you pronounce it.
Whoa. Okay.
One more time.
Can you do that again? Because, I'm terrible at actually learning a language. I only like to study. So one more time.
We'll do slow. 저,
Please. 서,
한국에
한국에
살아요.
살아요.
Yep. 저
한국에
Yep.
살아요.
Good enough.
저 한국에 살아요.
Yep.
Oh my god.
And then you can add other words in there, like Hong Kong, Hong Kong.
홍콩. So
In
저
Korean,
홍콩에 살아요.
Close enough.
Oh god. Sorry, Suho. I already learned when someone says close enough, it does not mean close enough. Okay. If you're in the audience and you don't know any Korean, feel free to give that a try as well. So Suho, can you repeat one more time? This time, oh my god, North Point. I'm not sure I want to try that. Can you say it?
Pretty easy. Sure. 저 노스 포인트에 살아요. So
Okay.
we just pronounce it. North Point. 노스 포인트.
North Point.
Yep.
That sounds like what I imagine Japanese trying to pronounce English words. 저
Because
노스
this one doesn't
포인트에
have much,
살아요.
yeah.
Okay, cool. All right, then let's move on.
All right, perhaps the next sentence. All right, I'm going somewhere. I'm going to this place. I'm going to that place. Again, we can put any places, words that have places, and make it a sentence. So let's look at the first word, college, 대학. 저는 대학에 가요. I'm going to college. 저는, I am, 대학에, college, 가요, going to. I'm going to college. All right, you want to follow along?
Okay. One more time, you speak very slowly, and I want to repeat word by word. Again.
We'll go slowly.
Thank you.
저는.
Again.
All right, 저는 대학에 가요. Yep, that's another simple sentence right there. I'm going to college. 저는 대학에 가요.
So college is 가요.
No. College is 대학.
Oh, okay.
The one in the middle.
So I college go.
Yeah, I college go, basically.
Okay, I college go. Hey, yeah. Okay.
We can go to the next one. Resort. Like Disneyland Resort. I've been there once, it was amazing. So, I wish I can go there again. I'm going to resort. So I'm going to resort. 저는 리조트에 가요.
리조트에 가요.
저는 리조트에 가요.
Resort, yeah, it's a resort. Resort 가요.
Yeah, try to make it sound like Korean.
Okay.
리조트에 가요.
저는 리조트에 가요.
Yep, good enough, good enough.
Okay.
People will understand you when you're in Korea. No worries.
Okay, if you're in the audience, feel free to try that too. Don't just make me the only one being embarrassed here.
저는 리조트에
저는 risotto. Just it sounds like risotto, you know, Italian food, the rice risotto. Okay. Okay. We got some question from the audience, by the way, Suho, asking about a difference. So I will draw out two kind of blocks, and you try to tell me what's actually the difference between it. Okay. So that's someone from the audience asking this. So we have. Let me also try. So this was the empty consonant, and then we have this one here, and then we also have empty consonant and just this one here. So what's the difference?
You see, there are a lot of subtle differences you have to distinguish in Korean language, and that's just one of the many. This one, in particular, the first one sounds like woo. So maybe W-U. It sounds like W-U. Woo. You can see my mouth, if you can see it. It's like you focus on the center. Ooh.
So rounding the lips a lot. Ooh.
Yeah, it almost sounds like, you know.
Like a ghost.
No. Like
Korean ghosts don't make woo.
It sounds like jeering someone.
Oh, woo, 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 woo.
Woo, yep.
Oh, so if you want to cheer. Okay, so maybe you see that. Woo, 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 woo.
You mean okay. I mean jeer. No, jeer. Jeering.
Yeah. Okay.
Or ridiculing someone, making fun, you know. Ooh.
Ooh. Okay.
And the second one is ooh.
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 So this one, it's hard to transcribe to English alphabet. Maybe like EU. Ooh. 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 Yeah, there you see, even like with the camera, you can see the difference how my mouth behaves.
Yeah, everyone look at Suho's mouth.
Move it to English. Ooh and ooh. The second one sounds like you're kind of scared of something. Something bad is about to happen, so you're kind of worried.
Or maybe I have a friend in the office who always, like, when she's disgusted, she always is like ugh. So maybe like ugh.
Alright, she's practicing Korean every day then.
Okay, ooh and Just like ooh, interesting. Not interesting. Okay, thank you, Suho. All right.
No
Cool. Let's go back then. If you have any questions in the audience, feel free to type it in the comments. And let's go back again. I already forgot how to say that you're going to the resort. I only remember risotto.
Oh no.
저는
Yeah.
risotto something 가요.
Yeah. 저는 리조트에 가요.
Yeah, you have this 게 or something, right? After the place.
Yeah. You have it. 저는 리조트에 가요.
So it's just risotto
Yeah, there's an into it.
Okay, What does that do?
It's one of the many connecting words that, you know, you have to struggle through, but it's difficult. Even Koreans skip it, so.
Okay, so little connecting words. Oh, that's very scary. Yeah. Everyone hates little connecting words. Okay.
This one is added to any location you want to talk about, so.
Okay, cool. Yep. So we got that. Audience, try to practice that if you don't want. Okay, we've got another comment coming in from the audience. Okay, give us a second.
Right.
Let's have a look. Okay. Oh, we can actually have 4 blocks in a word. Ooh, okay. So some kind of a chicken or something. Let's try to draw it out, what I can see from the comment. Okay, so let's see. Is that an actual word? This is coming from the audience.
Let's see. It is a proper word.
Ooh, okay.
Sometimes there are 2
You're lucky?
consonants under a vowel. So that's one of them. Yeah, when I said there are 3 building blocks, like 3 cubes stacked on each other, the last cube can actually have 2 consonants added into it. So that's a proper word.
That is the maximum, right? You can't have more than those 4.
No. Anything more than that would be a made-up word.
Okay.
You can still pronounce it, I'm sure.
I can pronounce it chicken.
You can for this one. The third consonant can be ignored almost when you pronounce it. So it's just tak, tak, chicken.
Okay, I'm not even gonna attempt it, but thank you.
Looks like our audience is already well, experienced with the language.
You know, people who join sessions about Korean language, they usually watch a lot of K-drama and they already know a lot. In fact, let me ask you this question, Suho. I know that you are not watching as much K-drama as probably a lot of our Hong Kong audiences, but are there any words that are so common that it will be guaranteed to hear this in like every K-drama they watch and they at least know what it means?
Ooh, I'm not sure about the sentences, but I'm certain there's a word that pops up, or several of them. Am I allowed to share screen on Zoom? Okay. No? Okay, no problem. Yeah, let's see. I mean, there isn't really a common sentence I can think of. The words I can think of, however, are the words you refer to someone else. So, like brother, sister. Those are the common things, right?
Oh, yeah, it's like, I guess, well, you say common, but okay, I grew up in Germany and I went to university in the UK and we don't go around and say brother, sister, whatever, a lot. I know that especially in East Asia, there's a lot of, like, I remember when I was in Singapore, everyone was calling each other auntie and uncle, even though they're not related. Does Korea have something like this? Do you keep on calling each other things?
Yep. When you first meet someone, you kind of assume their age, or you have to ask them. I don't really like asking for age, but that's what a lot of Koreans do. So if someone is older than you, you have to refer to them as perhaps hyung or oppa. Of course you do. I bet you do. And I'm pretty sure this word comes up in every Korean drama ever. No, the oppa is only used when you're a girl and there's an older guy in front of you. Then you would use that.
To use another word.
There's a different word. It's called 언니.
언니. How many different words do you have for different things then?
Almost every combination. There's a word for it. So yeah, every time is different.
That is crazy. So you say combination. So combination meaning what? Like, so you have male, female, older, younger. Do you have any other relationships?
It also depends how old they are, how different they are in age.
How different?
If the other one's like in their 80s and you're in your 10s, you want to give more respect, you know. So when you refer to them, you want to say something else.
Yeah, I see. Yeah, okay. This is, by the way, what I meant at the beginning when I said register, right? So this is when languages distinguish formality levels or ways of speaking based on the relationship between speakers or the situation. And Korean is a famous example for this. I don't know too much about it, but I know that respect is a very important concept and that language changes accordingly. So I would find it a bit awkward. Like, say, it's easy if you see if someone is really like ancient. And then you know maybe what's the age difference. But what if someone is like, I don't know about you, but like I wouldn't ask a girl how old she is, right? Like at least a relatively young girl, like my age, I wouldn't ask for the age. So if you need to figure out, are there any tricks? It's like, okay, what language do I use? How do I talk to you? Can I indirectly figure out if you're older than me or not? Like what do you do?
So first of all, if you're not sure, you don't want to say any pronouns at all. Just don't say it.
So there is a neutral way you can speak.
Yeah, because in Korean languages, it makes sense almost every time to not have any pronouns in your sentence at all. So just skip them first for the first time. And after you talk to them for a while, what do you do for a living? Do you go to college? You have a bit of guess of how old they would be. Like, say if they're working, they could have already graduated. So if you're still in college and they say, "Oh, I've graduated," then they're older.
Yeah, okay,
By
okay. So you use all these
asking
clues.
what they do, yeah, like try to get clues. What do you do, or where do you go? Yeah,
Oh my God, this is. Oh, I think I would.
that's the polite way of going around. But like most of the time, you have a guess as how old they might be. So it's not too bad. Okay. Mm,
It could have different meanings.
yes.
Yeah, sorry, I have to repeat again. So this kind of homophonic way, not homophobic, okay, that's a different word. So you have
Ooh.
homophones, that means things that sound the same, but actually can have different meanings. So you can actually see some on the screen. Can you explain what's going on there?
All right. So you see there are three words in here: pear, boat, and stomach. You notice there are three different words, right? A pear is a fruit, a boat is a transportation, stomach is in your body. But in Korean, they become all the same. If you go to the next slide. So these three words have exactly the same word in Korean. So this one, you have to get it out of context. So in context, let's say, I'm on a boat. It doesn't mean you're on your stomach. You're on your boat. So that's how you figure out the meaning of it.
Okay, so you always have to go by, does it actually make sense if it's that word, or would it make sense if it's another word?
Yes,
Oh my God.
context is really important.
Yeah, I see. Okay.
We can go to a really difficult example of this. So, yeah, same sentence, but what does it mean? So, in Korean sentences, sometimes it's the same sentence, but it can have different nuance or different meanings even.
Can
This
you
one, for
can you
example.
speak that sentence?
Oh, I can. 나는 어제 신발을 산 친구를 만났어요.
I will not repeat.
나는 어제 신발을 산 친구를 만났어요. So this one, there's a bit of ambiguity in the sentence. It could mean that I met a friend who bought shoes yesterday. So the friend bought the shoes yesterday. But it could also mean I met a friend yesterday. Yesterday I met a friend who bought shoes. So I met a friend yesterday who bought shoes. I met that friend yesterday, but I don't know when the friend bought the shoes.
Oh.
So there's this difference. Those
Yeah.
two are very different, but they are in the same sentence.
Wow.
So this could be very confusing at times.
Okay.
Like even the Koreans sometimes get confused. Like, what do you mean? We have to ask the second time. So you met your friend yesterday, or did he buy the shoes yesterday?
Yeah, I see. Okay.
It could get confusing.
Wow. And what about this?
All right, this one, it's more like a tongue twister, but I just thought it was funny.
Okay, for the audience, feel free to repeat. I will not. I'm sorry.
This one's actually kind of hard. 호박으로 끓인 된장국처럼 감자로 끓인 된장국도 맛있는 것은 아니다.
It just sounded like some Korean drama to me.
It does. I'll go slow this time. 호박으로 끓인 된장국처럼 감자로 끓인 된장국도 맛있는 것은 아니다. This sounds very long, so I wouldn't really expect you to know the meaning of it or pronouncing it, The meaning, I can explain the next slide.
Okay.
So it can have two meanings again. On this one, if you look close enough, there's just one difference that changes the entire meaning. So do you see the difference?
Do you see the difference,
Look close
audience?
enough. Look close enough. So if you look at the second line, there's unlike and just like. That's the only difference. So you may think it's a subtle difference, but it changes the meaning entirely. So the first one says, well, soybean paste soup made with potatoes doesn't taste quite well. But the green pumpkin ones taste very good because it's unlike. But the second one says, the soybean paste soup with potatoes doesn't taste quite well, just like the one with the green pumpkins in it. So the first one says, only the potato one doesn't taste good. But the second one means both of them taste bad. So this could be very challenging.
Oh my God, I'm sorry, I'm not going to learn this language. But it's fine, I can still have some fun with it.
German with all those,
Yeah, I get it.
you got.
Okay, I actually wanted to mention it because this is the last thing that we really wanted to have a look at. I mentioned before, right? Hanja, these characters, Chinese characters in the Korean language, and I heard that sometimes, it looks like it makes things complicated, like more complicated, to add extra characters from another language into it. But in fact, you Suho told me before that somehow this actually seems to sometimes help distinguish meaning and make things clearer on paper. Is that true?
That is true. You remember the 3 words that has the same letter?
Or like the body and the boat, the stomach.
Yeah. If you put it in the Chinese letter, then it gets clearer.
Yeah, that is true. But you would still pronounce it the same way.
You have to, yes.
Okay, so it's the same pronunciation, but actually when you write it down, it can look different. That is a very crazy concept for people like me who grew up with an alphabet where spelling is the same as pronunciation. Wow, okay. Let's have a look at how it got created, like how Chinese characters got into Korean. So let's have a look at the slides, and can you explain what's going on?
All right. On the left side, there are 3 big block letters. The first one is what we use and are used in Hong Kong as well, the traditional Chinese. The second one is Japanese unique, I believe. And the third one is what they use in mainland. So we Koreans, because we took this in an early age, we use the traditional, the very complicated words. And on the right side, you can see all the letters we incorporate. And this is rather small, but it has the meaning and the pronunciation for each letter. So the first one, let's just look at the first one, for example. The teach, right? The meaning is to teach. In Cantonese, this would be gao, right? In Korean, it's pronounced as kyo.
Kyo.
Kyo. Yeah, kyo.
Kyo.
So there's all the difference you have there, basically.
Okay. Yeah, because I was thinking in Hong Kong, like these K-dramas are so popular. Even when I go into Netflix here, it keeps on suggesting me K-dramas. But then the weird thing is sometimes you open a K-drama and then you see Chinese characters again, and it's like so confusing. So I guess a lot of people may be interested in like how would you read those, or like how did it happen. But yeah, okay. So you even showed me in newspapers you tended to have, especially in the past, you tended to have those characters a lot, right?
Yeah, these are, as you can see, this is rather black and white. So this is rather old newspaper. And back then, we used to use a lot of Chinese letters. And the first one you can see, it says the northern, how do I say that without offending too much?
The
evil spirit. The northern evil spirits, which you can guess, this is North Korea. So the northern evil spirits, we condemn them very strongly.
Okay,
we
the
want
northern
to
evil
go
spirits.
anti-communism. Yeah, you can see on the right hand side it says we are against communism. We don't want it. Yeah, basically.
Wow. Okay, for those who can actually read Chinese, right? For you may get more out of this than the international followers here. Okay,
Yeah.
and but also you can see it a lot, right? When you go around even in Seoul or in Korea, you go around to stations, you can see this everywhere.
Yeah. You can see in small letters, there's the Chinese ones in it. We still use it.
So it's not just for Chinese tourists. For you, actually, it has meaning too, right? Exactly the same way.
It does, but these days we are more inclined to like tourist friendly. So you can see in this example, with the next slide, this is a train station, but if you look closely, they have the same word, but different way of writing it. So one of them has traditional Chinese style, but the other one has simplified in it. So the simplified one is probably for the Chinese tourists from the mainland.
I can
But
imagine.
the one of if you go one slide before, maybe this one's for Koreans because this one is traditional.
Yeah,
So there's two ways of putting it.
I see. But you would still, would you find it equally comfortable to read the Hanja instead of the Hangul, the script, the Korean script, or would you just, your eyes and brain just prefer to read Hangul?
Because we're just so much used to Hangul right now, it's kind of sometimes hard to read it, especially this difficult letter you see. I don't even know how to pronounce this if I didn't look at the Korean.
So is it like a skill that the older generation is better at and the younger generation will know less and less? Or how does that work?
Yes, because back then they used to learn more Hanja than we did.
Okay, cool. Let's continue.
Yeah,
So-
these are just examples.
Wow. Okay, now what's interesting is you guys have like unique characters. So they look like they're actually Chinese characters, but then for Chinese people, they're not actually really characters that you would use this way, right? Can you share some of those? And apologies for our non-Chinese speaking friends here. You probably doesn't make much sense for it, but it's only going to be a few minutes. Can you highlight some of them?
All right, let's just go with the first one then. The first letter, for those who can read it, you already know them. You may be able to guess it, but it means cold. When, as in, you catch a cold. So you're sick.
You catch a cold.
And that's a noun. Yeah, that's a noun in Korean.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, actually, maybe we can have a look at the solutions. And I want people to have a look and see, would you have guessed this?
Yeah. Just look at the first one and then the next column. They sometimes have really different letters used, right? The public transportation one, for example, the one with 4 letters in it. This one, yeah, these are very different.
Interesting. So and are they actually being used? So let's say if a Chinese person comes to Korea and say, oh, I can read all the Hanja, and it's like, ha. Or are they just like very randomly or very rarely used?
Well, we don't really use these as Chinese letters or Hanja. We write in Korean, so
Yeah.
But if we were to write Hanja, this is how we would write.
Okay. Oh, but I guess mostly you don't do it. But I can't blame you. This is really hard to learn. Okay. Cool. So then basically our time is up, but this is such an interesting topic, especially Hanja if you're like from the Chinese speaking world. So if any of you, the audience, have questions, please write down in the comments in YouTube and we can ask Suho right here. Or if you want to test his Hanja ability, you can also see that. But please do not test my Hangul writing. I don't want to write anymore. I feel so embarrassed now that everyone is so much better than me at this.
I can maybe, if you have like Hong Kong locations, you want to see how we pronounce it in Korean, you can ask that.
Oh, I like the
I've
resort
learned
and the risotto.
A little bit of Cantonese, so I can read a little bit, but don't bring me to difficult words.
Yeah. No, if anyone any question, please feel free to write in the comments. You can even write, and if the session will finish in a few minutes, but then we can still ask Suho, and he can still reply later in the comments. So don't worry about it. Even if you're confused about something, you want to know more about the pronunciation, I still remember the difference between u, and I think that's something that I got out. It's relatively easy, and I also remember how to write them. Ooh and and the chicken that I'm not gonna attempt. So that's interesting. Also the crazy formality and age difference and how you call someone and oppa. Maybe can you teach maybe one more? Because I only remember oppa. I already forgot the others. What is another useful one? Because I'm not a girl who needs to address a older guy. So
that's a guy situation.
Okay, yeah, exactly. So put yourself into my shoes. Who should I need to address? Should I address a younger girl or older girl or you tell me.
Let's see. Let's say you're talking to an older person, maybe a few years gap.
Few years older than me.
If that person is a guy.
Okay.
Yeah. If that person is a guy, you have to say 형.
Again?
형. 형.
Som. Hyom.
Hyung.
Hyom.
Yeah. Hyung.
Hyom.
And if that person is a girl, you have to add Luna.
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 Yeah. Hyung and Luna.
Hyung. Luna.
Those
Okay,
are
that's
the two
older.
words you would have to use. Yeah.
Okay. Don't tell me anymore, because I will not. My brain capacity is really so. Pyong,
All
Luna,
right.
and Oppa. So okay, I remember these two, and I remember oo and ü. Okay, and risotto. Sorry.
Resort,
Okay.
yeah.
If anyone in the audience has any comments, feel free to write. If you want to know any situation how you need to address. Maybe I have one more question about this formality. You mentioned earlier that like this kind of formality is not just age. Even in family, there are some things like you address your father or mother in certain ways. Is that correct?
It is correct.
So when you talk to your father or mother, would you actually say father or mother or what?
This depends for every family, every household, because like some family doesn't have as much formality, while others may still have that. So say if you have a lot of formalities, you have to respect them when you speak to them. This one you have to say when you're talking to your father, you have to say 아버지. 아버지.
Aborti.
If you want to have less formality, you want to say 아빠. This one has more friendly tone in it. So
Ooh.
아빠.
Appa.
Yeah.
So sometimes you would say aborti and sometimes say appa depending on the tone. Could you say it in the same day? These two different ones?
Not really. No, this depends on each person. Like
Okay.
if they want a lot of formalities or not.
So is it when you grow up that you become closer to your father usually and then you would get more casual, or is it you become more formal, or how would that work?
Like when you're young, your family probably wants you to have a sense of, respect. So they want you to maybe speak 아버지. But this is for the stricter ones. Like usually we would just say 아빠.
Cool.
Yeah.
Okay, then my last question. How do I address you, Suho? Because I just call you Suho, but what is the best respectful way to address you?
As in...
As in... Okay, I give you a hint. You are younger than me.
Ooh, okay. This one, actually, you don't have to have a pronoun.
Oh, perfect.
Because they're younger, you just say it. Yeah.
Oh.
Or you can just refer to my name.
Cool. Okay, so that's kind of the least respectful way then, suppose. Because I'm older, I don't need to show you respect, so I don't use anything. I just use Suho.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm sorry for being so respectless, Suho, then. Yeah, cool. All right, then I think we'll have to finish the session because we're already over time. But I would say thank you, Suho, for joining, and thank you for teaching this terrible learner here who just talks a lot about linguistics and then can't even pronounce one thing that you tell me. I'm sorry for that, but thank you for sharing with me, and thank you for sharing with the others and for preparing the slides. So with this, I also want to say thanks to the audience, whoever who watches, and keep in mind that in Explorers Month, we do more than just a language session. This was just like a silly little thing to understand some quirks of the language. We have 2 upcoming events. We have a virtual trip where we can go through Korea and explore some places like virtually using Google Earth. And we also have one where it's kind of a K-pop dance lesson. I'm not going to do it. Okay, no, don't look at me. We're actually going to have a professional K-pop teacher who can teach you. So we're going to run these soon. So hope you see you there. And every month we do different country. So next month you'll see us doing other sessions about other countries, learning languages and learning about the culture. Okay, and with this I want to say goodbye. Thank you one more time, Suho. And am I correct by saying goodbye? You can also say annyeong, annyeonghaseyo.
Yep.
Yes.
You're correct.
Yes.
You're absolutely right.
Yes. Okay, so annyeonghaseyo. Okay, goodbye everyone. Thank you for joining. Thank you audience for joining. Thank you for your comments. Take care. Goodbye. Annyeonghaseyo. Goodbye, Suho. Goodbye everyone.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.